we are done with conditional statements. Now we'll go ahead to the looping statements. So again, when we were learning about what exactly is programming, we understood the concept of looping. So there are many times where we'd want to repeat a certain task, and that is where we'd require looping statements. So we had seen this example where we had to fill up a bucket, and to fill up that bucket, we had to take a mug of water and keep pouring that mug of water until this bucket is full. So the condition is, while this bucket is not full, we will keep on repeating the same task. So this is how the while loop works. So we'll start by working with the while loop. So first we will enter the loop and then we'll check the condition. So if the condition is evaluated to true, then we'll execute whatever is present inside the body of the while loop and we'll go back. Again, we'll check if the while loop or the condition is evaluated to true. So again, if it is true, we'll execute the body and then we'll head back. So this process repeats until the text expression is evaluated to false. And once the text expression is evaluated to false, we will exit the while loop. And this is the syntax for it. So we'll type in the keyword while and then we'll give in a condition. And until the condition is true, we will execute all of these statements. So now we'll go to Jupyter Notebook and work with the while loop. So now I want to repeat the first 10 numbers using the while loop. So for this, I'll go ahead and initialize the variable I and I'll set the value to be equal to 1. Now, once this is done, I will start the while loop and I will give this condition while I is less than or equal to 10. I would have to put in a colon over here and I would have to print the value of I. So print of I. And once this is done, I would have to go ahead and increment the value of I. So this will become I is equal to I plus 1. So let's understand this. Initially, value of I is equal to 1 and we are checking if I is less than or equal to 10. This means if 1 is less than or equal to 10. So the condition is true. We'll print the value of I, which is 1. Now after that, we'll increment the value of I and it becomes 2. Right? So then we'll check if 2 is less than or equal to 10. This again evaluates to true. We'll print 2. After that, we'll increment the value of 2 with 1, then it becomes 3. Then we'll check if 3 is less than or equal to 10. Again, we'll come down, we'll print 3, right? So this goes on until i's value becomes 11. That is when it will be evaluated to false, right? So when I value becomes 11, this condition fails. So 11 is 11 less than or equal to 10? Obviously no, 11 is greater than 10. That is when this will evaluate to false and then will come out of the loop, right? So this is how we are able to print the first 10 numbers using while loop. So similarly, I want to print out the to table using the while loop. So 2 cross 1 equals 2, 2 cross 2 equals 4. So it has to go until the first 10 numbers. So again, I'll take I and I'll initialize it to be equal to 1. Then I'll have n and I'll initialize it to be equal to 2. So I've got these two ready. And now I will start my while loop. So again, the condition will be the same. While I is less than or equal to 10. Now inside this, what I'll do is I will go ahead and print out the result. So while I is less than or equal to 10, I would have to print. So it is basically 2 cross 1. So that will be, let me put in. So here it will be n. Let me put in a comma. So n cross and then I'll put in a comma again over here. So this time it will be I. So n cross I will be equal to, let me give in a space over here, and then it will be equal to n cross I. Now after that, I will update the value of I. So I equals I plus 1. Now I will print this out and let's see what is the result, right? So let's understand this. So initially, i's value is equal to 1, which is less than or equal to 10. Now this is true, we'll enter the body of while and we'll print this out. So n into I. So n is 2. So 2 into 1 will be equal to 2. Then i's value is incremented, it becomes 2. So here, this is again true. So 2 into 2 is 4. Then it is 2 into 3 is 6, 2 into 4 is 8, 2 into 5 is 10, and we'll go until i's value becomes 10, right? So this is how we can print out the to table with the while loop. Now, let's see how can we use the while loop with a list. So let's say if I want to print out all the elements in a list, or if I want to update all the elements in a list with the help of the while loop. So let's do this. I'll create this list first. I'll name this list to be equal to L1 and I'll give in some values. So the values in this list would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I've got these values ready over here. So now that this is done, let me start my while loop. So I will type in while and then I'll just type in. So I'll also have to give in the I value over here. I'll set I to be equal to 0. So while I is less than length